The House of Blue Leaves is about a man named Artie Shaughnessy, whose day job is he is a zookeeper. He works at a zoo, at the Central Park Zoo, but he really dreams of being a composer of songs specifically for Hollywood films that are produced by his best friend from childhood, Billy Einhorn. He is married to a woman named Bananas, and that marriage is not doing well, so he's been having an affair with a woman named Bunny Flingus. And the play concerns these characters' dreams that are sometimes realistic and sometimes really unrealistic.
In 6 weeks, an LT theater show goes from looking like this to looking like this. I decided to investigate how this happens and what each and every cast and crew member needs to do in order to get from point A to B. To get started, I sat down with the director, Lawrence Keller.
Hi, my name is Lawrence Keller. I am the director of the House of Blue Leaves. A director's job is to, first of all, cast the show, conceive of how he or she sees it in terms of pacing, in terms of blocking, in terms of the visual aesthetic of it. So I'll work with designers and set designers, lighting designers, costume designers in terms of choosing a color, general colors and look of the show. But mostly what I try to do is work with actors to try and find what the approach to the roles that work for them. So when I have a great cast like this, and I can work with people like Alyssa Fry, Natalie Crown, and Ben Juris, what I'm really relying on them to do is tap into who these characters are for them and bring that out for them, and so they all complement each other's work, and I can shape the play into a coherent story.
Afterward, I met with Laura Eilers, the technical director of LT Theater.
Hi, I'm Laura Moore. I'm the auditorium technical director for Lyons Township High School. I take care of the Reber Center as well as the PAC, making sure that the sound systems work, the lights work, all those things. I work with Theater Board in conjunction with the tech sponsors and directors there, making sure those tech students are trained and know how to operate the system for the theater shows. And this year I'm also working with Mr. Keel in the stagecraft class on building the sets. I'm doing all the scenic designs and helping them with how they get constructed. Depending on the show, there's usually about a dozen or so crew members working on the show proper, a few people working on lights and sound, a few people working backstage. People who come to crew calls before that, we might have a handful of other students who aren't present for the show but who help us build the set, in addition to all of the stage tech students that are helping us build the sets during the day. The great thing about theater in general is how many different ways there are to get involved. So we have crew calls after school. If you want to come help build a set on one day, you can do that. If you want to be super involved and take charge of all the props, you can spend weeks giving us a couple hours a day or a couple hours a week helping us put things together so that we're ready to go. So the time commitment really is up to an individual, how much they want to commit to theater and how much they just want to dip their toes in the water.
And I put the binoculars up to my eyes, and I got the Pope in focus, and the pressure of him against my eyes. Oh God, the binoculars flew out of my eyes like a miracle in reverse.
The challenges I faced with this show was how it's almost like a dark comedy. So it's kind of finding the balance between making it comedic, but also finding the authenticity in it, especially with my character because she is so elaborate and extra and loud. It's finding the authenticity in the character and in my acting.
Well, the character I play, Bananas, is unlike anyone I've ever seen. So trying to figure out how she acts on a day-to-day basis is really tricky.
A lot of the challenges that I faced generally revolved around lines, since the majority of my lines is a giant 2-page monologue, so that took a while to memorize and perfect.
We were working on the set, meaning we have to piece together all the walls, we have to paint all the walls, and then we gotta smash them all together and make it look good.
My favorite part of set building is probably painting because I find it so satisfying. Seeing the finished product makes me happy.
Like group effort of it. I kind of like teamwork, but it's fun to be able to work with other people and just kind of like learn how to make stuff, because then you see the show and then it's your thing on stage.
My least favorite part of set building is definitely cleaning, because it just takes a lot more work.
The hardest part of set building for me is probably painting, because I don't like getting paint on my clothes. I still have remnants of that from the last time I painted a set on my shorts that I love dearly, and now they're ruined.
My name is Josie Berger, and I am doing the costume, hair, makeup crew. To begin creating the 1960s beehive look, you're going to first straighten your hair out. Step 2 then would be parting the hair. 3 then, after parting the hair, is working on teasing, which is when you would the different parts of the hair after having it done. You hairspray behind it, and then you use a brush and kind of like comb it, so it creates like this more of like a puffiness, because when you pull it back, it's going to help create that dome shape. Step 4 then is you're going to start putting the hair into like the dome shape, which is, you know, the whole beehive look. And finally, step 5 is pinning it all into place to create that iconic 1960s beehive look then.
Okay, I'm Kelly McDonald, and I'm Costumes, Hair, and Makeup Manager. We work with altering any of the costumes, we style all the hair and the makeup for all the actors, and then we do any of the costume changes that need to be done backstage.
I'm Megan Alatich, and I designed the poster. Over the summer, the marketing manager contacted me through email and with a bunch of other art students, and when I responded at the beginning of the year, they contacted me again, and we kind of kept up a correspondence. So first, I had to bring like 5 or 6 ideas for concept sketches to Mr. Keller, the director of the play. And when I went to the meeting and showed him them, he picked out 2 for me to do a first design of. And then when I brought those to him, he chose the final design, which was the hallway.
Oh, sorry, it's a mess in here. Get all this crap out of here. The prop closet is legitimately never clean.
My name is Taylor Schmidt, and I'm the props head for LTHS Theater. Props master is the person or people, depending on how many there are, who goes and they get to come up to this beautiful props closet, and they have to find all the hand props and the set props, like the set dressings for the show. So a lot of our props come from here. We are in the props closet in the Reber Center. We have some at South, not a whole lot at South, but also we sometimes ask props masters to go out and buy materials to make them. A good example of that is last year we used like foam to make tentacles for the Odyssey. They're in the corner over there. They're really fun. We also had to make transistors for this show. Our props masters specifically for this one were Ollie and Jamie, and they made the transistors for Corinna.
My name's Mary Kate, and I'm the sound designer for House of Blue Leaves. A sound designer finds sound effects and other noises for the shows and puts them all into a program so that you can play them during the show. I'm most proud of my explosion sound effect because it sounds really, really cool, especially paired with the lights.
My name's Nate Goldsboro, and I'm co-light designing for the House of Blue Leaves. The light designer has to light the stage in such a way that you can see the actors for one, but you also want to create the mood. So if there is something where it gets really awkward or really sad, you can oftentimes achieve that with the lights changing subtly, colors or such. And then it also helps to direct the scene. If they're on one side of the stage, you don't need the other side to be lit, because then people's eyes are going to be drawn there, and that distracts from the rest of the show.
I am John Chaplin, and I'm the light board operator. It's been stressful at times, and I've gotten really nervous because obviously it's my first show at LT, and I don't want to screw it up and make everyone hate me. Overall, I've really enjoyed it.
I'm Via. I am right ASM.
I'm Megan, and I'm left ASM. We move things on and off stage during acts.
And we communicate with people back at the board and the stage manager.
We have a list of about 30 items that we have to put on the stage every night before the show. It's not that much of a complicated process. We just have to make sure everything that's used during the show is on stage and ready to go. Otherwise, we will have a problem.
This is my first show, and it's been fun. And being on like headset and having people backstage and kind of like stage crew helping me has been really easy.
My name is Kate Paris, and I'm the stage manager. A stage manager is the person who calls all the sound and light cues during a performance. The hardest experience being a stage manager is that everything depends on you, so if you call something wrong, it's not the light person's fault, it's your fault if the light's gone wrong, and you have to keep track of all this in your script.
There you have it. That's all the work that needs to go into producing a LT theater show. As opening night draws closer, both actors and crew members work hard to get the show ready for opening night.